I first heard about Maggie's when I was on the wards receiving my chemotherapy.
I heard about Maggie's from friends of mine who had already come for treatment, or who had a relation who had cancer, etc., that they had been to Maggie's and just spoke so highly of it. So when I was diagnosed, Maggie's was one of the first places I thought of coming to.
It just felt like somebody's house. I used to always say it was like the Habitat house. It was a great escape from the ward because it did feel like somebody's home. So you felt as if you were separate from the hospital, but then the hospital was there in case you needed them.
When you first come into Maggie's, you just take a breath and you just feel, it's got a very relaxing atmosphere. I always remember it just felt so welcoming, and it just lived up to all the expectations. It was truly helpful, wonderful.
As soon as you walk in here, I just feel at ease with everything that they have here. They're just so caring, they're so comforting. Everything is done so quietly and calmly. It gives you the tools to take your future forward, to take control of your life, because when you're diagnosed with cancer, so much is taken away from you. The control of everything is taken away. The doctors are there, the oncologists are there telling you, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do the other. And you have to go along with that because you believe in them and trust in them.
Where I think Maggie's was great was sort of taking the emotional side of me, a spiritual side of me, if you like, and sort of bringing that together with the science of what was happening to my body. And I felt just as if I'd come together at Maggie's, and it gave me a strong base and a platform on which to go ahead with the whole cancer treatment.
It's helped me enormously, more so after my treatment finished, because I had such a long spell of treatment, 14 cycles of chemotherapy. Everything was so regimented. The whole year ran around when I was in hospital, when I had blood tests. So when I finished my treatment, it was kind of like, what do I do now? And coming in, speaking to Laura and Andrew now, helped me sort of get my head in a space where I could look forward and not concentrate so much on what I've been through, but rather what's ahead for me. And I think that's probably saved me as much as chemotherapy has.
Go! Don't think about it, just go in.
I was quite late on in my treatment before I first came to the centre, and I wished I had came the very first day I came into the hospital.
It doesn't matter what your background is, it doesn't matter what your diagnosis has been to. Maggie's just engulfs you.
One of my best friends had the brain tumour, and I would never have met Laura had it not been for coming to Maggie's Centre, and the friendships that you make in here that will support you through your treatment and beyond that are like, I couldn't live without some of those friendships now.
Maggie's understands you. Maggie's knows what you're going through and knows what you need to help you to get through it. And Maggie's feels for you.
Maggie's is like an oasis.
I'm trying to think what it would be like if Maggie's wasn't there or hadn't been there. And I think my whole experience would have been quite a lot different and might have been quite hard, a lot harder, maybe even depressing, maybe even at times bleak. Maggie's took away that. And I went through it, I went through my treatment feeling actually good. And I think I have to say that Maggie's was a lot of the reason for that.
Emotionally, it does help you and it does give you strength to move on in your life. I don't think I would have been as well as I am today if it hadn't been for Maggie's. And I'm glad to be able to say today, it's now 5 years to the day since I was nearly diagnosed. And I feel so upbeat that I'm still doing so well, and I have to put down an awful lot of it to Maggie's.